There is a moment that happens to hybrid owners at around 60 or 70,000 miles that I see in my shop constantly, and it is always the same look on their face. Surprised. They just got a repair estimate for $4, $5, sometimes $7,000, and the first thing they say is, "But I thought this was under warranty." And here is the cruel part. They were right to think that. Sort of. Because the thing almost no hybrid buyer understands is that your vehicle does not have one warranty. It has several layered on top of each other, and they expire at completely different times. The hybrid battery might be covered for 10 years, but the component sitting right next to it, doing an equally critical job, might only be covered for 36,000 miles. Size. And guess which one the manufacturer is quiet about? So when I say these engines fail right after warranty, I want to be precise, because I am not accusing anyone of building things to break on purpose. That is a myth. What actually happens is more subtle and, honestly, more useful for you to understand. Specific high-cost components on these vehicles carry much shorter warranty coverage than the parts everyone talks about, and they tend to fail in a window that leaves you personally holding a bill for thousands. Today, I am going to show you 5 hybrid SUVs where that gap between what you think is covered and what actually is can cost you the most, with the real repair figures from Coverage X, from the Autopian teardown reporting, from Empire Auto Protect, and from NHTSA complaint data. And the one at number 1 has a documented repair that hits some owners before their second anniversary of ownership. Let us start at number 5. Before the countdown, let me explain the warranty gap clearly, because once you understand it, you will read every window sticker differently, and you will know exactly what question to ask before you buy. A modern hybrid SUV is covered by at least 4 separate warranties, and this is where people get caught. There is the basic bumper-to-bumper warranty, usually 3 years or 36,000 miles. There is the powertrain warranty, usually 5 years or 60,000 miles, covering the engine and transmission. There is the hybrid battery warranty, which is the long one, 8 or 10 years, and up to 150,000 miles. And then there are hybrid system components, which sounds like it should match the battery coverage, but frequently does not. That last category is the trap, because a hybrid has parts that are neither the gasoline engine nor the battery itself. High voltage cables, inverters, coolant pumps for the hybrid system, control modules. And depending on the manufacturer and even your state, some of those expensive parts are classified in a way that gives them the shorter coverage, not the long battery coverage. Here is the concrete example that started this whole video, documented by a detailed teardown from the Autopian. On certain Toyota hybrids, the high-voltage cable that runs to the rear motor is classified as an electrical component rather than a hybrid battery element, so its warranty can expire at just 36,000 or 60,000 miles, while the battery beside it is covered to 150,000. When that cable corrodes and fails, you are out of pocket, and the bill is enormous. So the pattern on this list is not evil engineering. It is expensive components hiding under short coverage, failing in a window where you pay. Number 5. Number 5 is the Honda CR-V, and I need to be very specific here because this problem applies to one version of the CR-V and not the other, and the distinction could save you thousands. The issue is the 1.5-litre turbocharged engine used in the non-hybrid CR-V. This engine has a documented history of oil dilution, where unburned fuel seeps past the piston rings and thins the engine oil, particularly in cold climates with short trips. Thinner oil means less protection, which means accelerated wear. The worst cases hit the 2017 and 2018 models, leading Honda to extend warranties and settle a class action covering 2019 through 2023 vehicles. Here is why it belongs on a warranty gap list. The oil dilution damage accumulates slowly and often does not announce itself with a catastrophic failure until higher mileage, frequently after the powertrain warranty has lapsed at 60,000 miles. By then, the wear is done and you are paying . But here is the crucial part, and this is me being fair rather than scaring you. The CR-V hybrid does not use that turbo engine. It uses a 2.0-litre engine paired with an electric motor, which sidesteps the turbo entirely. As one analysis put it, the hybrid is the cleaner long-term choice within Honda's lineup. So my honest guidance is this. If you are buying a CR-V and long-term durability past warranty is your priority,
Buy the hybrid specifically and avoid the 1.5 turbo. If you already own the turbo version, protect yourself. Change your oil religiously, watch your oil level between changes, and if you see it rising, that is fuel dilution and you need it addressed while you can still make a warranty case. The CR-V lands at number 5 because the fix is knowable and the hybrid version genuinely avoids the problem. Number 4 is the Jeep Grand Cherokee, and this one earns its spot because it combines high repair frequency with a specific electrical component that fails expensively once you are out of coverage. Start with the raw numbers because they are sobering. According to Coverage X repair data, the Jeep Wrangler and Grand Cherokee family carries average annual repair costs of roughly $694 to $1,234 after the warranty expires, which is higher than most SUVs. That is not one big failure. That is a steady drip of repairs, year after year, that adds up. But the signature problem is a component called the TIPM, the Totally Integrated Power Module. Think of it as the electrical brain that controls power distribution throughout the vehicle. When it starts to fail, you get bizarre, intermittent electrical problems. The vehicle may not start, or it starts when it should not. Fuel pumps run when they should be off. Lights behave strangely. And a TIPM replacement can cost up to $1,500, according to that same Coverage X data. Here is the warranty gap angle. Electrical failures like the TIPM often begin as intermittent annoyances during the warranty period, easy to dismiss and hard to reproduce at the dealer, and then escalate into full failure after coverage ends. And now the Grand Cherokee 4xe, the plug-in hybrid, adds an entire high-voltage system on top of an electrical architecture that already has this reputation. Consumer Reports gave the 4xe a predicted reliability score of 22 out of 100, near the bottom of everything they rate. My honest read. The Grand Cherokee is a genuinely capable and desirable vehicle, and the 4xe's electric range is useful. But if you buy one and plan to keep it past the warranty, an extended service contract is not paranoia here. It is arithmetic, because the repair frequency data says you will use it. That is why it sits at number 4. Number 3 is the BMW X5, and specifically the mild hybrid and plug-in hybrid versions, because they layer hybrid complexity on top of an engine that already has expensive failure points once you are paying yourself. The X5 is a superb vehicle to drive. I have said that in other videos and it is true, but its B58 inline-6 engine and complex all-wheel drive system create multiple failure points as the mileage climbs. According to reporting drawing on NHTSA complaints and BMW owner forums, coolant system leaks, including water pump and thermostat housing failures, are among the most frequently reported issues. A failing cooling system on a performance engine is not a minor thing, because overheating is how you turn a manageable repair into a catastrophic one. Now add the hybrid layer. The newer X5s use a 48-volt mild hybrid system, and the plug-in adds a full high-voltage system. That reporting noted the surrounding electronics, including that mild hybrid system, add diagnostic complexity that drives up labor costs. And here is the number that matters. Out-of-warranty X5 repairs at independent European specialist shops commonly run $1,200 to $2,500 per visit, and the parts pricing reflects the premium positioning. Read that again. $1,200 to $2,500 per visit, not per year, per visit. And a cooling system that likes to leak means you may have several visits. The warranty gap problem here is brutal because BMW's warranty is generous while it lasts, which lulls owners into a sense of security, and then it ends, and the repair costs are luxury tier from the very first bill. My honest read, and it is the same advice I give for any German luxury vehicle. If you buy or lease an X5 and move on before the warranty ends, it is one of the finest driving experiences money can buy. If you buy one intending to keep it a decade, budget seriously, because this is where the horror stories in the surveys come from. Number 3. Number 2 is the Nissan Rogue, and it ranks this high because it carries 2 separate expensive failure points, and an enormous number of Americans are driving one right now with no idea about either. The first is the transmission. Nissan uses a continuously variable transmission, the type that runs a steel belt between 2 pulleys, and this family has one of the worst repair reputations in the industry. When it fails, and history says it is more likely to than most, a replacement or rebuild runs roughly $3,000 to $5,000. On a vehicle in the low to mid 30,000s, that is a repair equal to a sixth of the entire value, landing all at once, usually right after the powertrain warranty ends. The second is the engine itself on the turbocharged versions. Nissan's variable compression turbo engine has been the subject of enormous recall activity, covering roughly 1 million vehicles across the last year for issues including engine bearing failure. When a bearing fails, that is often a replacement engine, which is among the most expensive repairs that exists. Here is the warranty gap angle, and it is genuinely dangerous. Both of these components tend to show early warning signs during the warranty period: a shudder from the transmission, a noise from the engine, that are easy to dismiss or that the dealer cannot reproduce, and then fail fully after coverage lapses. So here is my actual advice, and please act on this one. If you own a Rogue, go to the Federal Recall website today, enter your vehicle identification number, and check whether yours is covered by any of the engine recalls, because if it is, that repair is free and you want it done now. And if you feel any shudder or hesitation from the transmission while you are still under powertrain warranty, document it in writing at the dealer immediately, because that paper trail is your protection. The Rogue sits at number 2 because you face exposure on 2 fronts at once. And number 1, and this is going to surprise people because it is the most trusted hybrid in America, the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. And I want to be extremely careful and fair here, because this is not me telling you the RAV4 is unreliable. It is one of the most durable vehicles on the road. This is me telling you about one specific, documented, expensive warranty gap that most owners never see coming. Here is the problem, documented in a detailed teardown and component evaluation by the Autopian. On affected Toyota hybrids, there is a high-voltage cable that runs to the rear electric motor. Over time, particularly in areas that use road salt, that cable can corrode and fail. And when it does, the repair bill at a certified dealership service bay routinely ranges from $5,000 to $7,000. Now here is the part that makes it number 1 on a warranty gap list. Because that cable is technically classified as an electrical component rather than an internal hybrid battery element, its warranty coverage is significantly shorter. It often expires at just 36,000 or 60,000 miles, depending on your state, while the hybrid battery right beside it is covered to 150,000. Let me make that concrete with the example from the reporting. Consider a high-mileage commuter driving 45 to 50,000 miles a year. For that owner, this massive financial exposure arrives before the second anniversary of ownership. 2 years in, a $5,000 to $7,000 bill on the most trusted hybrid in the country for a part they assumed was covered because the battery is covered. And it is not the only one. Coverage X data notes the RAV4 also sees AC compressor failures running $900 to $1,600, and the inverter coolant pump, a $400 to $800 part, is another known failure point that sits outside the long battery warranty. My honest read, and this is important, the RAV4 Hybrid will absolutely reach 250,000 miles. It is a fundamentally excellent vehicle, and I still recommend it. But if you live in a salt belt state and you drive a lot of miles, you need to know this cable exists, because forewarned, you can inspect for early corrosion, and you can factor a possible $5,000 repair into your ownership math instead of being ambushed by it. Knowing is the whole point of this video. That is why it is number 1. So let me turn all of this into a plan, because the point of this video was never to scare you away from hybrids. Hybrids are, as a category, more reliable than gas vehicles, not less. The point was to close the gap between what you think is covered and what actually is, so a $5,000 bill never ambushes you. Here is what to do, and it costs you almost nothing. First, before you buy any hybrid, ask the dealer one specific question and make them answer it in writing. Which hybrid components are covered under the long battery warranty, and which are covered only under the shorter powertrain or bumper-to-bumper terms? The high-voltage cables, the inverter, the coolant pumps. If they cannot answer, that is your answer, and you look it up yourself before signing. Second, know your real warranty expiration dates, all of them, not just the headline battery number. Write down when your bumper-to-bumper ends, when your powertrain ends, and when your hybrid components end, because they are almost never the same date. Third, if you live where they salt the roads, have the underside inspected once a year, specifically the high-voltage cabling and connectors, because corrosion caught early is a cleaning and corrosion caught late is a $5,000 cable dot. And fourth, if you plan to keep the vehicle well past the powertrain warranty, price an extended service contract before that warranty expires, not after, and run the math honestly against the repair figures I gave you today. Do those 4 things and not one vehicle on this list can ambush you, because you will see the bill coming and you will have planned for it. Now I want to hear from the owners, because your real experience protects the next buyer. If you have paid one of these out-of-warranty repairs, tell everyone in the comments which vehicle, which part, and what it cost you. That real number from a real owner is worth more than any warranty brochure. Take care of yourselves out there, and I will see you in the next one.